Hi guys, and happy Pride Month. If you guys don't know who I am, my name is Ken, also known as MrKenDenis on YouTube and on Instagram. So in today's video, I am going to be talking about what Pride Month means to me, and also a bit of my coming out story and how coming out has changed my life. So I'm doing this video for PopSugar Australia, so if you guys would like to read more inspirational stories, you want to know more about how people came out, if you guys are struggling, definitely check out the link down in the description box down below so you guys can read up the stories, and who knows, that might inspire you to come out to your friends and to your family. So what does Pride Month mean to me? To be completely honest, for me, I didn't really think Pride Month was a thing until this year, and I'm so happy that it is an actual thing because it is a great reminder that, you know, that we all have different sexualities and we're all just people. You know, just respect for other people. I'm just really thankful that we live in a day and age where people can just accept one another for who they are, not just because of what their sexual orientation is or their gender identity. I think definitely the last few years, Australia in particular has definitely come a long way, especially with gay marriage. Like, hey girl. It's also a great reminder for us to see what we've accomplished as a society today. Okay, so now I'm just going to share my coming out story, and if you guys are still contemplating whether or not you would like to come out, obviously that is a very personal choice, but you know, hopefully if you guys are contemplating whether or not you should do it, hopefully my story inspires you and shows you that it does get better. Like in the beginning it will be hard, don't get me wrong. Like I would have to say my coming out was probably easier compared to a lot of people's coming out stories, but it was still personally quite hard to do. Okay, so growing up I was pretty much picked on, bullied a lot, especially in school because I was quite different. I sounded different to begin with, and I was quite flamboyant already. If you guys don't know what my background is, I'm Filipino. I went to an international school in Hong Kong, and there were a lot of other Filipinos as well. And in the Filipino culture, any sort of, I suppose, feminine mannerisms is frowned upon. You have to be very macho man, sort of like aura, and I was simply not that, for obvious reasons. And yeah, I got picked on a lot, and it wasn't easy because at that time I had no idea what my sexuality was. You know, I had friends, relatives pick on me because, you know, I was, you know, hand gestures, a little bit flamboyant, the way I said things, and, you know, people would just pick on that. And when you're that young and you have no idea what is your sexuality, you didn't even know what sexuality was. I didn't have a concept of what it was yet. I just simply thought there was something wrong with me, and for the longest time I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then I started to learn more about homosexuality, and obviously it was like a lot of negative stuff I heard, but then the older I got, the more I saw people just were happy being who they were, and I at the time still didn't really know what my sexuality was. It wasn't until I started experimenting with boys then I started to realize, yep, definitely gay. I think I started to tell friends that I was possibly gay, again still had no idea, when I was probably 15, 16, and then I also started dating boys, and that's when I started to realize, yes, I'm definitely gay and I need to tell someone. So I told a couple of my friends, and it definitely lessened the burden on my shoulder, but I still felt like there was this cloud of deception, I suppose you could say, when it came to my relatives, to my family. In my head I was thinking they don't really need to know what's going on in my life. I'll probably just wait until, I don't know, I'm in my 30s, then I'll tell them. But that didn't happen. I was dating a guy at the time, and he really inspired me to come clean to my parents. That being said, he was in the closet, so it was kind of like he was, I suppose, trying to live vicariously through me coming out. So yeah, I rang my mum, and at the time I was living overseas, like we were far apart, and I rang my mum and I said, "Mum, by the way, I've got a boyfriend." And my mum broke down. She started crying, and I said, "Why are you crying?" She said, like, "For the longest time, my son, I knew that you were gay, and I was just waiting for the day for you to just come out." And at the time I didn't really know the significance. Because I was already out to my friends at this point, and I just felt like everything was normal. And to hear my mother, who I've been keeping the secret from for the longest time, hear her cry. It just didn't really make sense. It wasn't until I saw her, I saw my family, and they were all loving and accepting, that I really felt the difference. I started to realize the significance of it, but at the same time I was still sort of like transitioning from, yes, I'm a butch boy and I'm just, you know, very masculine, that sort of aura, to the person that I am today. It didn't really hit me until probably I was in my early 20s. So just to set the record straight, I came out, I think 17, 18, and then it started to really, like, the significance of my coming out started to really come into play when I was around 20. That's when I also started playing around with makeup as well, and I started to really feel confident about, you know, just wearing makeup and being my normal self, like being flamboyant out in public, and, you know, just being very open about my sexuality. And I started to feel like, you know, I'm very confident, I know who I am, and I'm happy with who I am, and it's just such an aura of confidence. And I also felt that this was when a lot of the people that picked on me and a lot of my bullies stopped picking on me, because they could see that I was just so confident and comfortable with my sexuality that, you know, if they called me derogatory words about my sexuality, it didn't really matter anymore. Obviously it was still offensive, but it didn't really hurt me the same way as it used to, because I knew who I was at that point and I knew what I was. So, you know, like, so what, you're pointing out that I'm gay? Big deal, move on. It's definitely taught me to just not care about negative people in my life, especially when they're negative about my sexuality and the community that I represent. I just, you know, don't talk to them. I don't want to have anything to do with them. So yeah, there you guys go. That is my coming out story, and what my coming out has meant to me, my friends, and my family. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys are needing any help, any sort of like advice, definitely leave me a comment down below. Definitely happy to help you guys out if you guys are in need of that help. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye.